Alright students, we're now on to step 2. It's going to start getting fun now that we learn how to edit videos. The sooner you can learn the basics of editing videos, the sooner you can make fun videos of school events and things like that, and things that interest you, rather than just boring videos about white balancing and irises. So let's get on with it. So we've now imported our clips. We've got our new event, Project 5, and we've got our movie, Project 5. We now, just like in the previous editing assignment, we now want 7 seconds of each clip, and we want the best 7 seconds we can find. So what you'll do, this is why you needed to record at least 10 seconds of your clip. You'll notice all of my clips are around 12 seconds. But you need to find the best 7 seconds. So what you do is you double click on the first clip. If you're doing it in the same order as mine, that's overexposed. They don't necessarily need to be in the same order that I do them. But if they are, the first clip is overexposed. So you double click your clip. What that'll do is it will select the entire clip. You'll notice that there's a yellow or an orangish line all the way around the clip. That means the whole clip's selected. If I now click and drag that clip into my movie, the entire clip, the entire 12.4 seconds, is going to go into my movie. I don't want the entire 12.4 seconds because some of it is garbage, so I'm going to delete it. What we want is 7 good seconds, the best 7 seconds. So if you happen to bump the camera at the start of the clip, then you'll want to edit that out. So what we do is we hover over the start of the clip on the left side. You'll notice when you hover right on the edge of the clip, when you're inside, it's a hand. Hands mean click and drag. It means you can move the object around. In this case, you can move the clip around. That's not just an iMovie thing, that's a kind of a standard thing for software. Then on the left, if you hover right on the left edge, your hand will turn into a left and right arrow symbol. What that's saying is that's called trimming. You can trim the clip. You can click and drag and make the clip longer or shorter, cutting out part of your video. So if you click and drag that, you'll notice the numbers above where I'm dragging get smaller and smaller. If I go to the left, they get bigger and bigger. That is the duration. That's how much of my clip is now selected based on where I drag the playhead to, is what it's called, where I drag the start of the clip to. Alright? So drag it in a little bit. In my case, mine's now at 10 seconds, and then on the left side, or the right side, you want to drag that in enough that you make exactly 7 seconds. This clip needs to be exactly 7 seconds. Okay, if I get it exactly 7 seconds, granted if it's 6.9 or 7.1, I won't know the difference. But if it's 6 seconds long or if it's 5 seconds long, I will know the difference when I grade it, and you'll lose points. So now that I have that selected, you can see by the yellow line what part of the clip is selected. If you hover on it, the hand appears. I can now click and drag that clip into my movie. If I hover over that clip down here in my timeline, down here in my movie, I can see 7 seconds. By the way, these are called timelines or sequences. Okay, iMovie just calls it a movie because iMovie keeps it super simple. But in more advanced editing software, this will be referred to as a timeline or a sequence. So I now have 7 seconds down here in my timeline, or down here in my movie rather, and that's my first clip. That's ready to go. Okay, you can see up here there's a blue, or not a blue, there's an orange line on that clip. That means that that is in my movie. That chunk of video is in my movie. If you look at the other clips, there's no orange line. That's just indicating that none of these are in my movie because I haven't put them in my movie. Alright, I'm now going to repeat that process for the next 4 clips. Follow along, pause as necessary, but get your 5 clips into your timeline or into your movie and make them 7 seconds long. I'll now repeat that process for the next 4 clips. I double click my clip, I set my in point. These are called endpoints. Endpoints are where the clip starts. I set my starting point, or my end point is a term you should learn, to wherever I want that to start, and then I set my out point, or where I want the clip to end, to wherever makes it exactly 7 seconds. have exactly 7 seconds. I now hover over, get the hand, click and drag it to right after the first clip, let go, and I now have 2 clips in my timeline. By the way, if this is too spread out in your timeline or in your movie, this little handle, I don't know what you call this thing, slider right here, you can click and drag it and it will basically zoom in or out on your project so you can see more of what's going on. Alright, so I now have 2 clips. I now go on to the third clip. I double click the clip. I set where I want it to start by hovering over the left side and dragging it to wherever I want the clip to start. Then I go to the right side and I hover and drag it to where I want the clip to end. Should be exactly 7 seconds. Look at the number in the little gray box, 7 seconds. Okay, I'm ready to go. I now hover over here, I get the hand, click, and I drag this clip to where it's supposed to go in my timeline. By the way, I can rearrange these, but you don't need to because they can be in any order. Alright, so I now drag it in there and I have 7 seconds. If I hover over the clip before that, you'll see it's 7 seconds. Hover over the clip before that, 7.0 seconds. Those are done correctly. Now I move on to the next clip. Double click the clip, set my in point. In points again are where you want the clip to start. Drag that to where I want it. Set my out point. Out points again are where you want the clip to end. I drag that so it's exactly 7 seconds. Now that I have 7 seconds, I click and drag my clip into my timeline. On to clip number 5, double click it, set where I want it to start, known as a in point, you should have said in your head. Set where I want the clip to end, which is known as a out point, you should have said in your head. Clip now should be 7 seconds. Click and drag it to the end of my timeline. So if I watch my video, I'll now have 7 seconds of overexposed, 7 seconds of underexposed, correct exposure, white balance correct, and white balance incorrect. My 5 clips. Alright, that is the end of step 2. So step 2, just to recap, is you need to get the best 7 seconds you can of each clip, and you need to put it into your timeline. You need to put it into your movie so that you then have a 35-second video with all 5 of your clips lined up in your timeline, ready to go. So go ahead and do that now. Stop this video, complete those edits before you move on to step 3. Do not watch the video for step 3 if you do not have a movie that looks like mine. 5 clips, 7 seconds long. If you have it like that, you can move on to step 3. If not, watch this video again and do it right.